A healthy gut is the cornerstone of a healthy body, yet most people don't realize that the gut lining, just a single layer of cells, determines whether you experience vibrant energy or chronic inflammation. When this delicate barrier becomes damaged, the tight junctions loosen, allowing partially digested food, toxins, and microbes to leak into the bloodstream. This is what we call leaky gut. And it's one of the most common but overlooked drivers of bloating, fatigue, brain fog, skin issues, joint pain, weight gain, and weakened immunity. The immune system becomes constantly irritated, inflammation spreads throughout the body, and the microbiome shifts in the wrong direction, allowing harmful microbes to take hold while beneficial bacteria decline. The good news is that the gut lining is incredibly dynamic. It can heal faster than almost any other tissue in the body if you give it the right support. Today, you're going to learn the hidden science-backed trick that can repair the gut barrier naturally and restore microbial balance, often within days. This simple method works because it targets the root cause. It reduces inflammatory pressure on the gut wall, strengthens the mucosal lining, and creates the environment beneficial bacteria need to thrive. When the gut lining is repaired, digestion becomes smoother, nutrient absorption improves, the immune system calms down, and energy levels rise. Many people notice improved mood, clearer skin, better sleep, and a stronger stress response, because a resilient gut means a resilient body. This one strategy is powerful, natural, and surprisingly easy to implement, yet most people never hear about it. Stay with me as we break down exactly why this method works, how quickly it can restore the gut, and why it may be the missing link in your long-term health. The gut lining is a remarkable structure, a single layer of epithelial cells that lines the entire digestive tract, separating the contents of the intestine from the bloodstream. Imagine it as a highly selective security system where only properly digested nutrients are allowed to pass, while harmful substances, pathogens, and toxins are kept out. The key components of this system are the tight junctions, tiny protein structures that seal the spaces between the cells. These junctions act like adjustable gates, opening and closing to regulate what crosses the intestinal wall. When tight junctions are healthy and strong, the gut barrier functions efficiently, nutrients are absorbed, and the immune system is calm. When they become compromised, the gate is left ajar, allowing molecules that should stay in the gut to enter the circulation. Damage to these tight junctions can occur from a variety of stressors. Chronic psychological stress, for example, elevates cortisol, which directly weakens the gut lining. Poor diet, especially one high in processed foods, sugar, and industrial fats, creates inflammation in the intestine and disrupts the microbial balance that normally supports tight junction integrity. Medications, including NSAIDs, antibiotics, and even some prescription drugs, can irritate the lining or alter the microbiome in ways that destabilize the barrier. Alcohol acts as a chemical irritant, inflaming the gut wall, while infections, whether viral, bacterial, or fungal, trigger immune responses that inadvertently damage the epithelial cells. Environmental toxins, from heavy metals to pesticides, can accumulate and further compromise gut integrity over time. When the gut lining is compromised, partially digested food particles, bacterial fragments, and toxins escape into the bloodstream, a process often described as leakage. The immune system recognizes these substances as foreign invaders and mounts an inflammatory response. This chronic low-grade inflammation is like a constant fire alarm, leading to fatigue, joint pain, skin problems, and digestive disturbances. At the same time, the body may produce cravings for sugar and carbohydrates, partly as a misguided attempt to calm inflammation and boost energy, but ultimately feeding more imbalance. One useful analogy is to imagine the gut lining as a fine mesh filter in a water system. When intact, it lets clean water through while holding back debris. If the mesh develops holes, particles that shouldn't pass contaminate the water, causing downstream problems. In the body, these holes in the intestinal barrier lead to systemic inflammation, immune hyperactivity, and nutrient malabsorption. The microbiome suffers as well because beneficial bacteria thrive in a stable environment, whereas harmful microbes flourish when the barrier is disrupted. Understanding this mechanism clarifies why leaky gut is at the root of so many chronic conditions, and why healing it is fundamental for restoring energy, digestion, and immune balance. The gut microbiome is a densely populated ecosystem consisting of trillions of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other microorganisms, all playing a critical role in digestion, immunity, and overall health. In a healthy gut, there is a rich diversity of species, each occupying a specific niche, keeping one another in balance, and producing beneficial compounds such as short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. These fatty acids nourish the epithelial cells, strengthen tight junctions, and maintain the mucosal immune system that sits just above the gut lining. But when the intestinal barrier is compromised, this delicate ecosystem quickly becomes disrupted. A damaged gut lining alters the environment that microbes rely on, creating conditions where harmful bacteria and opportunistic pathogens can overgrow, while beneficial species decline. The loss of diversity is significant because diverse microbiomes are more resilient. They prevent pathogens from dominating, help regulate metabolism, and modulate inflammation. With fewer beneficial bacteria, short-chain fatty acid production drops, leaving the intestinal cells undernourished and more susceptible to further damage. The mucosal immune system, which normally tolerates friendly bacteria while attacking invaders, becomes overactive. This chronic immune activation increases inflammation throughout the gut wall and the rest of the body. The symptoms of microbiome dysfunction are often subtle at first, but can escalate over time. Bloating and irregular digestion arise because harmful bacteria ferment undigested food in the wrong areas, producing gases and irritating compounds. Food sensitivities develop because immune cells begin reacting to harmless proteins that leak through the compromised barrier. Energy levels fall as nutrient absorption becomes inefficient, and inflammation diverts resources away from cellular repair. Frequent infections, allergies, or slow recovery from illness occur because the immune system is preoccupied with constant low-grade threats rather than efficiently targeting pathogens. This situation creates a vicious cycle. Leaky gut allows microbial products and toxins to enter the bloodstream, driving systemic inflammation and immune activation. The inflamed environment further stresses the gut lining, impairing its ability to regulate which microbes thrive. Dysbiosis worsens the barrier's integrity, perpetuating leakage, inflammation, and symptoms. It's a self-reinforcing loop. The microbiome suffers because the gut is leaky, and the gut remains leaky because the microbiome is disrupted. Understanding this relationship makes it clear why addressing leaky gut alone isn't enough. The microbiome must also be supported. Restoring beneficial bacteria helps repair tight junctions, reduces inflammation, and strengthens the mucosal immune system. Small, targeted changes in lifestyle and diet, coupled with strategies that directly support gut integrity, create an environment where microbial diversity can flourish again. In this way, repairing the barrier and nourishing the microbiome work hand in hand, breaking the cycle and restoring digestion, immunity, and energy while reducing inflammation across the body. The hidden science-backed trick to repairing a leaky gut quickly revolves around providing the gut lining with the specific nutrients and conditions it needs to rebuild itself while reducing the inflammatory pressures that prevent healing. One of the most effective approaches is targeted nutritional and biochemical support that focuses on both the epithelial cells and the tight junctions that maintain barrier integrity. The cells of the intestinal lining have one of the highest turnover rates in the body, regenerating every few days, but they require precise building blocks, amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals to function properly. Without these, the cells remain weak, tight junctions loosen, and permeability persists. Glutamine, an amino acid, is a primary fuel for the enterocytes, the cells lining the gut. When supplied adequately, it supports cellular repair and encourages tight junction proteins like claudin and occludin to strengthen the connections between cells. Similarly, zinc plays a critical role in maintaining the structural integrity of these junctions and in regulating immune responses. A deficiency of zinc not only slows repair, but also contributes to chronic inflammation by allowing microbial components to overstimulate immune cells. Omega-3 fatty acids are another key element. Their anti-inflammatory properties calm the immune system in the gut and systemically, preventing further damage while creating a more stable environment for beneficial microbes. This method works because it addresses the root cause of leaky gut, chronic stress on the barrier and insufficient cellular support. When the lining is given the exact nutrients it needs, the epithelial cells regenerate more rapidly, tight junctions tighten, and the passage of inflammatory molecules into the bloodstream diminishes. As inflammation declines, the mucosal immune system can reset, tolerating friendly bacteria while responding appropriately to pathogens. The microbiome benefits simultaneously, as a stable barrier creates the environment beneficial bacteria require, allowing them to flourish and produce short-chain fatty acids that feed the gut lining in a positive feedback loop. Timing and consistency are also part of this trick. The gut benefits from predictable patterns of nourishment, periods of digestive rest, and avoidance of triggers that perpetuate inflammation, such as alcohol, NSAIDs, or highly processed foods. By combining targeted nutrients with these practical lifestyle strategies, healing accelerates. Within days, many individuals notice reduced bloating, improved digestion, better energy levels, and a calmer immune system. This approach is effective because it is not a temporary fix. It restores the physiological foundation of gut health, allowing the intestinal lining to function as the selective barrier it was designed to be, supporting digestion, immunity, and overall resilience in a natural, evidence-based way. When the intestinal barrier is repaired, the microbiome experiences a profound and rapid shift toward balance and stability. A healthy gut lining provides the foundation for beneficial bacteria to thrive, creating an environment where diversity can increase and harmful species are kept in check. The hidden, science-backed method for leaky gut repair directly supports this process by reducing inflammation, supplying critical nutrients, and fostering the production of short-chain fatty acids such as butyrate, acetate, and propionate. These fatty acids are not just fuel for the intestinal cells. They act as signaling molecules that regulate immune responses, maintain tight junction integrity, and create an inhospitable environment for pathogenic bacteria. By strengthening the mucosal lining and calming local inflammation, the gut becomes a hospitable habitat for probiotics that may have previously struggled to establish themselves. Bacterial populations begin to rebalance, with beneficial species increasing in number and activity. This shift enhances fermentation of dietary fibers and other indigestible compounds, generating metabolites that feed the epithelial cells and further reinforce the barrier. In effect, the gut lining and microbiome enter a positive feedback loop. A stronger lining supports a healthier microbiome, and a healthier microbiome continues to nourish the lining. The benefits extend beyond the gut itself. As the microbiome stabilizes, digestion improves, nutrient absorption becomes more efficient, and energy levels rise because the body can access the building blocks it needs for cellular repair. Immune regulation becomes more precise. The system learns to tolerate beneficial bacteria while responding only to true threats, lowering chronic systemic inflammation. Hormone balance is influenced as well, since gut bacteria are involved in the metabolism of estrogen, cortisol, and other signaling molecules. A diverse, resilient microbiome also supports neurotransmitter production, which can improve mood, sleep, and stress resilience. Practical implementation involves consistently supporting gut barrier repair with the targeted nutrients, while simultaneously reducing exposures that destabilize the microbiome, such as processed foods, excess alcohol, and unnecessary medications. Gentle prebiotic fibers, fermented foods, and strategies that promote digestive rhythm further encourage beneficial bacterial growth. Over time, this approach reconditions the microbiome to be more robust, more diverse, and more stable, breaking the cycle of dysbiosis and leaky gut. The result is not just a healthier gut, it is a system-wide improvement in digestion, immunity, energy, and metabolic balance, demonstrating how central the gut truly is to overall health and resilience. Implementing this method in daily life begins with understanding that the gut heals most effectively when supported consistently and predictably. The first step is to prioritize the nutrients that directly repair the gut lining. For most people, starting the day with a protein-rich breakfast that includes glutamine, zinc, and omega-3 fatty acids provides the essential building blocks for enterocyte regeneration. This could be a combination of high-quality eggs, oily fish, or a clinically formulated amino acid supplement. Pairing these with a small portion of gentle prebiotic fiber, such as cooked vegetables or a spoonful of soluble fiber powder, encourages early fermentation and short-chain fatty acid production without overloading a sensitive gut. Mid-morning and afternoon routines should focus on maintaining gut stability while avoiding triggers. Small, balanced snacks that are minimally processed, low in sugar, and include anti-inflammatory nutrients help prevent spikes in gut irritation or inflammation. Drinking sufficient water and herbal teas that support digestion and reduce inflammation, such as chamomile or ginger, helps maintain the mucosal lining and flushes metabolic waste without stressing the system. It is important to avoid long periods of fasting or overeating, as extremes can stress the gut barrier and slow repair. Evening strategies focus on repair and restoration. Consuming a light dinner with easily digestible proteins and gentle, cooked vegetables provides sustained amino acids for overnight gut cell regeneration. Avoid alcohol and NSAIDs and heavily processed foods in the evening, as these interfere directly with tight junction repair and microbial stability. Some individuals may benefit from short periods of digestive rest, where meals are spaced to allow the gut lining to recover without constant antigen exposure. This aligns naturally with circadian rhythms, as the gut lining exhibits peak repair activity during overnight rest. Consistency is key. Daily repetition of nutrient support, anti-inflammatory practices, and gentle dietary choices produces cumulative benefits. Many people notice reduced bloating, improved energy, and calmer digestion within the first few days, while mucosal healing and barrier strengthening continue over weeks. Over time, food sensitivities may decrease, immunity improves, and overall resilience rises. Adjustments can be made for sensitive individuals, such as introducing nutrients slowly or selecting gentler fiber sources, but the principle remains the same. Provide the gut lining with what it needs, avoid stressors, and allow time for natural regeneration. By integrating this method seamlessly into morning, afternoon, and evening routines, the gut can recover efficiently, microbiome balance is restored, and systemic inflammation is reduced, creating a foundation for long-term health that is simple, practical, and science-backed. Healing a leaky gut requires not only targeted support, but also careful avoidance of factors that perpetuate damage or inflammation. Processed sugars are one of the most significant offenders as they feed harmful bacteria and yeast, promoting dysbiosis while simultaneously triggering inflammatory pathways that loosen tight junctions. Frequent consumption of refined carbohydrates and sugary snacks leads to spikes in blood glucose and insulin, which increase oxidative stress in the gut lining, slowing cellular repair. Replacing these with whole, minimally processed foods rich in fiber and phytonutrients provides nutrients for beneficial bacteria while avoiding inflammatory surges. Gluten can be problematic, particularly for those with sensitivities or celiac disease. The gliadin component of gluten can stimulate zonulin release, a protein that opens tight junctions, increasing intestinal permeability. Even in non-celiac individuals, excessive gluten may provoke subtle immune activation, so limiting wheat-based products during the healing phase can reduce unnecessary stress on the gut. Healthier alternatives include naturally gluten-free grains like quinoa, buckwheat, and millet, which do not provoke the same barrier disruption. Alcohol directly irritates the epithelial cells and promotes oxidative stress, weakening tight junctions. It also alters microbial populations, reducing diversity and increasing endotoxin production. Limiting or eliminating alcohol until the gut has fully recovered allows both the lining and the microbiome to restore balance. Similarly, seed oils high in omega-6 polyunsaturated fats, when consumed in excess, promote systemic inflammation, which can exacerbate gut permeability. Swapping these for anti-inflammatory fats such as olive oil, avocado, or omega-3 rich fish helps reduce inflammatory pressure. Ultra-processed foods, artificial additives, and preservatives disrupt the microbiome and can trigger immune responses in the gut. They often contain emulsifiers or other chemicals that compromise tight junction integrity. Choosing whole, unprocessed foods ensures that the intestinal barrier is not continuously exposed to harmful compounds. Overeating is another contributor, as excessive food intake stretches the gut wall, slows motility, and encourages fermentation by harmful bacteria, increasing bloating and inflammation. Eating smaller, nutrient-dense meals on a regular schedule allows the gut lining to recover efficiently. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which suppresses mucosal immunity and slows cellular repair, while medications like NSAIDs, certain antibiotics, and some acid-suppressing drugs directly irritate the gut lining or alter microbiome balance. Lack of sleep impairs cellular regeneration and immune regulation, further slowing repair. Healthier practices include stress management techniques such as gentle exercise, meditation, and prioritizing 7-9 hours of sleep per night. By systematically avoiding these foods, habits, and environmental triggers while consistently applying the hidden gut healing strategy, the intestinal barrier can repair more rapidly, inflammation diminishes, the microbiome rebalances, and overall digestion, immunity, and energy improve, creating a clear, actionable roadmap for recovery.